Welcome back to Grass Doesn't Exist.
I botched it so hard. It's me, Daichi.
And your best friend, Shadow.
Yeah, and hello, all viewers and listeners, and that one person that just constantly listens to us, Vicar. I love you.
Okay, that's kind of stalkerish behavior. I don't think you should get
I'm in a different mindset now.
Okay.
Yeah, So, I have something big to announce. I'm leaving the jungle. It's no longer meant for me. They've guttered it, and I hate it.
I see. So which Roy off to next?
I'm going back to my home roots of being a submissive sub. I'm now a support.
A support, okay. And who's your favorite sport to play?
The ones that win.
The one. Wow, you like winning too?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, but speaking of support and the current meta at the moment, right now, Arcane is OP.
Yeah.
Arcane is OP. Specifically Jinx. Taking up a storm after the small attack speed buffs, obviously. Small.
Yeah. But it also helps that the Yumi rework is popping off amazingly.
Yeah.
I like how they've changed her.
Mm-hmm. I
like how she just can't spam one button to keep a person alive.
But still, isn't it still kind of off though, in my opinion? Because think about it. Yumi, they've designed her to be easier.
Mm-hmm. Well, kinda.
Well, they've made it so that Yumi players will get more benefits if they stay on longer. So they took out the skill expression of hopping off and hopping back on, to get that.
But they
shield.
Replaced it with the fact that it's all shield based, which means you have to anticipate the damage.
It just seems wrong that she's a tier 1 champion right now.
No. It makes sense.
For a 450 blue essence costing champion.
Is she not low?
Yeah, they want to make her a beginner champion, so they even brought the blue essence all the way down.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like me seeing Garen at the top, or how it was just off seeing Annie as the number 1 mid laner. It just doesn't seem right. We usually see the mechanical laners being at the top, because the higher skill expression you can show, the higher limits you can express through a champion,
That shit's hard. I want the easy dubs.
Oh my god. Well, I guess, micros and everything. There's also macro, knowing the map, wording, and everything like that. The cat is online, and I don't know if people hate it more or love it more.
Yeah. Like I said, I think for me, I like it more because since it is shielding, if a bot is using it, then they can't just spam the heal on you to get the easy dub. It's almost impossible to fully predict unless you're a pro and when damage is coming.
That's true. One thing I do really like is a Q. What is it? It's
that is so fun. It's like its own mini game.
It looks fun. Yeah, I definitely agree. And the fact that it can go so far, holy.
Yeah, especially because you can hit people out of vision. So if you get good, you can just start sniping random black zones and just hit someone. You're just got him.
Yeah, it's disgusting. But I definitely am happy about the best friend buff. The buff that they added where, Yumi, it's better if she sticks onto one person. And I believe that is a nerf, You won't get an insta win if you have bunch of crazy carry champions. One thing that was really scary was especially Yumi Hecarim, no one's gonna forget about that. Yumi Kane, Yumi Yi, everything that's all gone now.
Yumi Jax,
any hyper carry, let's say that's not an ADC. Obviously, it includes ADCs, but
hyper carry bruisers, I'd say
it was disgusting for sure. And even Darius, think about it, because Darius he has a skill expression where he needs to get the heal off his Q in order to last longer in fights to get those stacks and get those ultimate and his passive running like that. But now if he has a Yumi on him and he gets a heal and then boom, it's
look to when Yumi first came out and you had the Yumi Garen bot lane duo.
Oh god. That was funny.
It was funny, but it felt the way she was built before, I felt more carried towards bruisers and not ADCs. But this one I feel is more for ADCs. The fact that she gives movement speed, attack speed, and on-hit damage to make any ADC an on-hit champion, in a sense.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
That's true.
And not just that, though. With her best friend thing, to get the most out of it, you want to be on a champion that gives you crit.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to be one towards more your ADC. The only other person that I could see it being like good on is like Kindred, Gangplank, like any crit based champion, even probably Yasuo and Yone.
Yeah, that's true.
But
it can only be one best friend.
Yeah.
So that's a good part.
Yeah.
Right. But like you played a couple of Yuumi games so far, right? I don't know how many you played.
Like 3.
3 games. Okay, so not as much as I expected. But in your opinion, do you think when the new patch sort of rolls out to like pro play, do you think people are gonna start picking Yuumi?
Doubt.
You think so? You think the supports are gonna pick Yuumi?
I think it's gonna be what you and I did those 3 games where it's just gonna be Yuumi Jinx.
Jinx,
Yuumi Kaisa, Yuumi Tristana. Those are the 3.
You might be right. You know, like as we've seen a couple of Kaisa games that have been showing up, right? We've seen not that many Jinx games, but Jinx hovers.
Yeah.
Aphelios, a lot more of these like hyper carry ADCs are starting to show up.
Well, I've seen a lot of Twitch streamers. They do Tristana Yuumi rework. And it almost makes it so that, like, if you're communicating with your support, you use the Tristana Q to just increase your fire rate. And then while that's refreshing, then Yuumi gives you attack speed. And so you can melt a turret.
Oh my god. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
We should try that later.
Yeah, and then when she jumps in, you just automatically shield. So, like, you're guaranteed to know when to negate damage. And then if they run away, you just hit them with the Yuumi sniper Q.
Yeah, and then you get the chase on, obviously, with Tristana's jump reset as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But speaking of Yuumi as support, there's another support that's coming into the Rift very soon, and that is Milo. I mean,
I am so excited for that, man.
Like, we've seen some of the abilities already.
I've also seen some of the cheeses, though.
Oh, God. Oh,
you want to
I think I saw TikTok. Wait,
so,
go ahead.
So I've seen a couple now.
Okay.
My 2 favorite is that there's on the PBE right now, there's a build with him where you can get over 100% tenacity to
I think I heard of this.
Yeah, to make it so basically like you can never fully CC him unless you do like multiple chains of CC.
Yeah.
Which means that he can always cleanse any ally. And then the other one, which is the funniest one, it's Milo and then 4 ADCs by the dragon pit, and he uses his ability or something, increases all of their attack range, and they just kill the dragon on the other side of the wall.
Oh my! I think like before it was like only Morgana that can do that with her W, and that took years, right? But now I can't imagine like how crazy that would be. And think about it, we've already been seeing a lot of ADCs like in other roles, right? Like in top lane, mid lane. It's a possible outcome. It's a possibility that could happen. You get Lucian top, Kindred jungle. I don't know, like Kaisa Ezreal mid, and then like any other ADC.
I'm excited because I feel like right now the way the meta is it is very much CC heavy.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to do too much with the fact that they brought back support engage.
Yeah, and there's also
because it was before support engage came back. It was more of just like the mid jungle combos always had to have like a form of CC, like Vi Ari.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or Vi.
You see Vi, La Sejuani, Wukong, all of these guys have like crazy CC. And not only that, like about your point with the support tanks and all that, that also applies to top lane too. We've been seeing Cho'Gath, Sion, and they provide a shit ton of CC, you know what I mean? And obviously K'Sante as well, even though he's been nerfed.
Yeah. And so like he can only stop one form of CC, but one form could make or break a fight.
Yeah. No,
if
absolutely.
timed correctly. And so
in addition to Zanya's, like,
and cleanse.
That's gonna be so annoying to watch.
Like imagine Aphelios with a Milo and cleanse. So basically he has 2 cleanses.
And a stopwatch.
The stopwatch. And if Milo gets the support item that also cleanses, that's 3 forms of cleanses. That Aphelios is never getting locked down.
Oh my goodness. You don't even need Tahm Kench anymore. You just need Milo. Yeah. Milo's like almost like the new savior, if you think about it. Oh my
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, but at the end result, do you think he'll be squishy? Do you think he'll be one-shottable?
I think...
He's just a kid.
I think he's going to be played like Rakan, where it's going to be like, you can go either like... He's more just going to be health focused, and then you can dabble a little bit into resistance and armor, or more into supportive magic like the crown gives you the movement speed.
I see. So definitely a support that has a higher skill ceiling.
Yeah.
And a higher skill floor than most other supports.
Yeah, because I feel like Rakan's one of the rare few supports where you can go either more AP support focus or more tank engage focus.
Yeah, so it's crazy Night Harvester builds as well.
Yeah.
On Rakan, yeah.
And so I feel like Milo's going to play a lot like Rakan.
Okay.
Which I'm excited because I love Rakan.
Yeah.
I love the jumpy boy.
And, you know, with the Milo release, we've also seen like a lot of the new skins that are going to come out.
I love this skin line.
You know, the only thing I like are Ezreal's toes.
Ezreal's toes.
If you look carefully at the bottom of the skin,
yeah, you get free toes.
You can see his toe.
For me, I'm excited for the Karma because Karma has never gotten a legendary skin before.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
For a popular champion not popular, I'm pretty surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like her movesets are pretty transferable to like any skin line if you think about it.
Yeah, and with it being legendary, I'm curious on how it's going to look. But honestly, there's not really a bad skin in this one that like...
Yes and no. I think one skin I don't like is the normal Katarina one. But as we all know, we've talked about this many times. If there's a prestige skin...
They always try to make the prestige look better.
Yeah, like way better.
Yeah.
But I also have to say, I am getting a little bit disappointed by these new prestige skins. Like, obviously, they look great and whatnot. I'm not too liking the purple. You know, they've been putting a lot of purple on prestige, right? They put on Echo, Cassante, now it's going to be on Katarina.
So for me, I no longer care about the prestige skins. The only things I will spend Mythic Essence on is those Ashen Knight skins.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the Ashen Knight Shen?
Oh, I think like he has like a recall. Something like comes out of him, right?
Yeah, like it is sick. Like
the Ashen Knights are good. I'm hoping for an ADC Ashen Knight. That'd be really cool as well.
And I think it might have just been a rumor, but I'm pretty sure they announced that like after this, like towards the end of this year or towards the end of this season, basically, there's going to be a new theme for like.
Oh.
So instead of Ashen Knights, it's going to be another one.
I see. So are they just going to do like 5 champions for each skin or something?
I think so. Yeah.
I like this though because I like how exclusive they make it. It sort of increases the value of these skins, you know what I mean? Instead of sending a bunch out at once, it's just like one every 3 months or something like that.
But the animation styles behind it are gorgeous though.
But do they have different dances? Or is that the same?
I think the dances are the same.
More because it still has a guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not 100% sure on that. I just know the abilities have the night and day focus.
That's true. I mean, it has a very unique concept. But again, with the purple.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting annoyed by just that. I'm seeing so much purple. I mean, no hate to purple, but one thing I really liked about Prestige, just like that unique gold color that the rest of the skins just don't have, you know?
Yeah.
But a ton of skins are purple. There's a bunch of purple skins. There's a bunch of purple chromas. So I don't really see
if they are going to do an Ashen Knight ADC, I already know who it's going to be.
You do?
Or I believe.
Oh, okay. Who do you think it is?
Callista.
Like, based on the theme?
Yeah.
That's valid. But isn't there a Callista skin already coming out for Fairy Court?
There is.
That could be an issue.
It could. But it could be like later.
It could also be good old Ash. You know? Just give Ash another skin.
Or it could go to, I think, Draven would be a decent one.
Yeah, Draven wouldn't be that bad. Yeah, I mean, there could be many. Looking at the Fairy Court skins, I mean, which one's your favorite again? It was Karma?
It was Karma and the Katarina Prestige.
Katarina Prestige. And I know my girlfriend, she is going head over heels over the Seraphine one. I don't really get it. I guess they did pretty well with the green hair, I guess.
Yeah.
Not that big of a fan. I don't know if I'll get the
Honestly,
one.
I would have to say the one that's just kind of the most meh is the Milo one.
Think so?
It's just kind of meh.
I mean, he looks cute though. I mean, everyone else looks cool and he just looks like a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably why. It's because the theme is like you have all these badass fairies, then you just have like a gremlin.
True. It's not legal for you to like this one.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm curious on how the rest of the world will play Milo.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of the rest of the world, oh boy, have things been stirring.
Oh yeah? Which region?
So I want to start with the LEC.
Okay,
Good old
LEC.
Europe.
Our rivals.
Fnatic replaced their top and support.
Okay.
And big oofs.
Big oofs.
They replaced One that I think needed replaced, which was support. They should have kept Wonder. And then I think you and I are both in agreement. They should have replaced the jungler.
Yeah,
as the biggest problem.
No hate to Razork. I still think he's a good player, but especially in this meta where early game junglers are just like so important, and while they're important, this guy has the idea of just picking Sejuani jungle every time while everyone else is picking Wukong, Elise, Vi, all these like strong early game junglers like
that have the potential of doing late game things.
Exactly, and that's just what I think. ADC, of course, you gotta CS, you gotta scale up. But if we've seen a lot of our LCS games, for example, the games only last around 25 minutes on average. A lot of games are ending very fast. And this is because we've got a lot of the strong early game junglers that are in the meta right now. And it looks like they're just blasting the past right now. Sejuani, constantly picking Zeri. No one's picking Heimerdinger support right now. This isn't Worlds 2022, but like they picked that twice in a row.
Yeah. And that's basically it. Vitality's still I feel
got upset.
I feel Vitality's
that's not just it.
I think Vitality's gonna be number one. This
absolutely.
Weird split. I think it's officially spring split.
It is, yeah. They're calling it spring split. I definitely agree with you. Like, upset. He deserves to be in a team, right? I think it's crazy that he got replaced by Reckless. I mean, a lot of people wanted Reckless. I'm surprised that he couldn't have joined a different team. I guess Fnatic had the need to bench the best European player last year, right? But now Vitality, as I've said, a lot of people are saying, oh, Bo doesn't have to play for bot lane anymore. Bot lane's self-sufficient now. So, they're rocking it, obviously. And then, I talked to you before about G2, Malphite mid. Love that.
Caps is off the rails.
He's off the rails, and I love it.
He looks like he's having fun though. That's all that matters.
And holy Hansama on Draven. Don't give that guy Draven. It's like last year when we talked about how why would you give Viego to closer? This is the same thing. Never leave Draven open for Hansama. Just don't.
He'll pick it.
Don't do it. Please don't do it.
And then for the LCK, I've come to the conclusion about one champion in particular.
Okay.
Alawi is not a champion meant for pros. It is a solo
queue.
Yeah, solo queue only. And that's because I recently watched BDS, or not BDS.
Did they pick Alawi
DRX.
Oh, okay.
DRX play with the Alawi top and just shit the bed.
Really hard? Really hard.
Feta jacks.
Oh, God. Oh, okay.
And I
see what they're trying to do, because Alawi does counter Jax, but also doesn't. I don't know how to explain it. Because, Jax is an all-in champion, and Alawi's at oh, you're going to all-in me? I'm just going to press on, you're going to die. But the thing about Jax is that he can bait it out, His Q later into the game is only on a 3-second cooldown, You jump, you walk away, you jump back in. But my goodness, I am surprised especially I'm surprised for LCK, I feel like people would do these dumb picks would be LEC or LCS.
Yeah, so when I see the LCK pick, I'm just ooh, okay, maybe they'll prove that it can work.
Yeah.
No, if it fails there, it will fail everywhere.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking of what would be some other champions that are only meant for.
Well, I'd say similar champions Aloy, Yorick, of course.
Yeah.
Nasus, all those heavy split push champions. I believe because especially when your whole team feeds Nasus and solo queue, I think a lot of that reason is because they don't understand how to kite him, right? He presses R, just wait it out. You can wait him out while CCing him. It's not like he's super fast, which is why he gets Ghost, by the way, too. But you can still just kind of counteract that. And then finally, when he does have just jump on him and just get one shot, He's not really that tank because he's not always building full tank items.
Yeah. And it was just wow, I can't believe they just did that.
Yeah.
But also in the LCK, going back to good old TikTok where I get all of my news nowadays, it feels like, there was a video of Faker. And taking photos with a bunch of famous pros like Showmaker, Canyon,
cute,
Knight, Rookie, Ruler, just all over, just even Caps I think was in it.
Yeah.
And Faker will always do this like thumbs up.
Oh yeah.
Even when people try to do the heart with him.
Even like all the Ari cosplayers, you know.
Ari cosplayers, like I think there's even like a K-pop star
he
that
rejects
that
all
that
of them.
that tried to do the heart with him. He's just like thumbs up.
They're all rejected.
But recently, at the end of a game, you know who he finally did the heart with?
Who?
The only other person that can carry just as hard as him.
And who's that?
Carrier.
Oh my god.
When they did the heart thing together in the video.
Was it in Worlds or something?
No, it was recent.
It was recent. Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
that's so cute.
He's doing daddy proud. That's the only thing I could think of.
That's crazy though, because he is known as that thumbs up guy, you know, even in photos and everything like that. And then when
Carrier asks the heart, you give it to him.
If you don't give me a heart,
I'll throw. I control the game.
I'll leave T1.
Faker, you think you can control the game now? You're wrong. I'm now.
Good luck winning Worlds.
I'm the captain of this ship now. That's Carrier right now. Oh, he has the big dick swagger. He can make or break a game now.
Yeah, I mean, good for him though. I mean, it's a wholesome moment. Absolutely. Yeah. Another thing about T1, obviously, if you haven't heard, their match against DRX banned 5 ADCs. Yep. They banned Lucian, Caitlyn, Varus, Aphelios, and Draven.
The funny thing about that, though, is everyone would just go, oh, the T1 ADC must be that good. Gumayusi. No. Only half of those were for Gumayusi. The other half were for Carrier.
Oh my goodness. Like, who would have thought, you know, we see like these crazy role swapping champions. For example, like Gragas, he can go either mid or top or support, right? Or you see all these other champions that can kind of play multiple roles. And then T1 specifically just has that unique archetype where they can flicks any champion in the bot lane. So honestly, just like well played, you know, handshake, you know, ban all the ADCs. We'll just get a free top jungle mid, right? And we'll still win the bot lane.
Even that, yeah, it was just like, I'm pretty sure they still won the bot lane.
Yeah, they still won bot lane. Owner just gets his hands on Lee Sin, like, thank you.
Yeah. I could even picture Gumayushi's mind right here, just like, ooh, I'm the support. It just, he probably has like that one like TikTok audio, choo wap ba 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 choo wap.
He's like, I can finally turn off my brain.
Yeah, he's just like, yum. I feel like that's the mind of all Cho'Gath players. So they go ooh snap, yum.
I just find it so ironic because you know it's ADCs that are sort of just like getting Kraken Slayer and trying to like destroy
ADCs are just like damage.
Yeah, they're trying to like you know cut down Cho'Gath's HP now, but like now the ADC is the Cho'Gath player. Yeah, it's so ironic.
It's almost kind of like when like people that are very healthy go out of their way and they just have one cheat day like once a year.
That was his cheat day.
Yeah, that's Gumayushi's cheat day. The coach just goes, Gumayushi, take it easy. And then he looks at Carrier and just does they just nod at each other.
It's like, let me eat.
Yeah. Carrier and the coach look at each other, gaze into each other's eyes, give the heads up nod, and then picks Locks and Senna.
Oh my god.
I know the assignment, like, coach.
You can cook, let me eat.
Oh, it's the full-on restaurant experience in the bot lane for T1.
No, for real though. Like they got a whole menu. Like they got a full course, whole ass menu.
Yeah. Well, speaking of menu and eating, so I recently popped into the LPL, the unknown territory for me. Yeah. And I watched a game recently. It was JDG versus some unknown small org called the abbreviation is TT.
Thunder Talking? Something I think it's Thunder Talking.
Yeah. Well, Knight, who I know a little bit on.
Oh yeah.
Because he's a great yeah. He almost broke the record for having the most kills without deaths. So the record is 18.
Do you know who got it?
I don't.
Okay.
I just know they were really excited. Like the casters were almost trying to convince JDG not to end the game early.
Oh my god! I wonder if they knew. I wonder if they knew in their heads. Like,
I don't think so.
Oh,
but Knight went 16-0-7 on Ahri. decimated.
Whoever stole 7 of his kills.
Yeah.
Come here.
Like, I wonder after the game when someone came up just like, oh, you're 2 away. And he just looks at the person who stole more than 1.
Looks at the ADC, looks at the jungler.
And he's just gazing into their eyes and just this is your fault.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare, and just spits at their
I could have gotten a raise.
I could have had a record. I could have been someone.
I could have been. And it's hard to be someone in China, especially with how many teams are rotating.
Yeah.
How many players and new rookies are being sponsored and promoted.
But it's cool seeing a top tier Ari go.
Yeah.
The move sets behind it is
especially
crazy.
Because we haven't been seeing too much Ari.
No,
yeah,
we haven't, and it's kind of it's funny in a weird way because there's a lot of players that are good Ari mains.
Yeah, we can't forget what is Power of Evil.
Yeah,
I know he's not here anymore, but he was known as that Ari guy, and he was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, some say Ari's an easy champ, which I will say the basics of her are easy.
Yeah, you can say she has a low skill floor.
Yeah, but the possibilities of trying to weave in her ultimate with her abilities, if you can do it right, you'll never die. And Knight proved it. He showed it. He's
you got a 360 angle. You can go through it. Yeah.
And there's a bunch of other mid laners that are also really good Ari mains, and one of them I would say is in the LCS.
Oh,
we finally got to see one. Team Liquid has had a bit of a struggle.
Oh yes, they have.
And recently, they played FlyQuest, and they won. And it might have been because of the draft slightly, but I think it's also because T1 finally was just hey...
TL.
TL.
Yeah, no worries.
It's
huge difference.
Yeah, huge difference. My apologies, Carrier. Please don't kill me in my sleep.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Team Liquid, I'll just say Team Liquid, it'll be way easier.
Yeah.
I feel the longest time they've just been trying to get Pioshik his Kindred, which will never happen.
Yeah.
If you're a Kindred one trick in any pro scene, you're never playing that champion because everyone's afraid of it.
Yep.
So, but they finally allowed both Harriet and Jan to have their one tricks that they had in Academy.
Mm-hmm. And who?
It was Ari and Aphelios. And they popped off with those 2 champions against FlyQuest.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, Summit, he picked Cho'Gath and peeled for them all.
Yeah. It was just nice because for the longest time, this whole split, I've just been looking at Harriet and I'm just why was there so much hype behind this kid? He hasn't really been showing much, and if anything, it's been kind of underperforming. But seeing him on his main champion, I'm just okay, he has a little skill, a little rough around the edges, but
you gotta be flexible.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I feel with especially a lot of the younger players, they haven't had 100% of the time to play a large pool as a lot of other mid laners, especially when you're a rookie mid laner.
Mm.
And so I wondered if Team Liquid early on would have just, instead of doing meta, just went for more of comfort picks for Harriet, of if that would have made any differences or not.
But at the same time, I know you're giving credit to the academy players that are now in the big boy team.
Yeah.
But we can't forget credit on Pioshik that game. Pioshik played insane that first game.
Oh, 100%.
I think he won seven kills. And he picked up so many kills at the beginning of the game and just sort of increased the lead so much so that, FlyQuest, they just couldn't catch up.
Yeah. And I know I'm bringing it back to the rookies.
Yeah, no worries.
But I feel if you are on a team and everyone feels comfortable in their picks, in their situation that they are,
yeah,
it moves way more faster. It's more fluid almost of just everyone knows what they're doing when they're doing it. But if you're playing a champion that you're not 100% confident in, you're going to be somewhat hesitant sometimes. And then that hesitancy can just off-throw the entire game.
That's true, because imagine the pressure they have too, They're playing in so many of the big boy leagues, right? They're playing against a lot of the veterans that have proven to be good. And these guys, they haven't been here for that long, so if they perform even a little bit bad, they're gone. If Doublelift makes a couple of mistakes, everyone can turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
But for these rookies, no one can.
Yeah, and I feel you also got to see this type of mentality in EG versus Cloud9 on the first day. Because you had JoJo who was sick and not even there. So you don't
JoJo.
You don't have, and he just got shit on
He
so
got
hard.
abused. He got like solo killed 3 times with M&S.
Yeah. And I'm not even saying it's his fault. Like, I feel as an org, if you have a player that's like that sick where he can't even attend, you just need a replacement for him.
But at the same time, I mean, there's a lot of stuff we could question about EG's department, especially with how they could have handled the Danny situation better and how they let JoJo play while he was very sick. So yeah, I mean, obviously that org can be kind of questionable in terms of a player.
But I will say, the person that they replaced JoJo with
I'm not saying
Ryoma. I'm just gonna call him Roomba.
I feel like if I was Japanese, it'd be way easier for me to say like Ryoma.
I'm gonna say Roomba. Roomba? It's the Roomba.
Yeah, you're straight. You're American, all right.
But he did good.
Yeah, he did a great showing on Nazir, and I thought, yeah, he definitely carried. Definitely. CLG, they're not an easy team, right? And his first game in the big team.
CLG has been shitting the bed.
You want to get on that already?
Well, I have to. Like, at the beginning of this year, everyone was hyped for CLG because they did such a big improvement last summer.
It's 2-0 right off the bat.
Yeah, and then going into this, everyone heard in like the rumors of them, like especially Dokla playing with Kingsman, their
Kingen, and DRX.
Yeah, and then like some of the other players playing with both DRX and T1 members. So everyone's hyped. There's like, ooh, if they were practicing with the best, they should improve. And like the first week we saw that, we were just like, 2-0 baby, let's go. And then it's just been like a spiral. They've been able to pick up some games here and there, but it hasn't been consistent.
Yeah, and if you look at their team, what do you think is sort of the main problem? Contracts. What has he been doing wrong?
I feel like just his play style, he's very much 50-50 whether or not he can consistently gain a lead or not.
True, but we thought that he solidified that at the beginning of the season, but do you think he's kind of reverting back to his old ways?
I feel like the pressure got to him and he's somewhat reverting back. I feel like Dokla's got a little too cocky and slipped up a couple times.
Definitely.
Probably the only 2 consistent players right now is Palafox and Poom.
But that's what I want to say. There's your word that you said right there, consistency. I feel like that can go both ways, right? Like, obviously, it's great to have a jungler that's consistent, right? Yeah. Consistently good. Like, if you look at Blabber, consistently good. Inspired, consistently good. At Closer last year, consistently good, right? But then there's also those consistent players that consistently pick the same champions. Like, for example, Palafox. He's usually that guy who will just pick the mages, right? He'll pick the mages. He won't do anything exciting. Like, look, we're looking at Gory from Golden Guardians, and if you look at M&S, or you say M&S, right? M&S from Cloud9. Like, they're picking up some of these crazy picks. Like, imagine having a start off champion rotation of LeBlanc, Yone, and Tryndamere, right? So that also makes me question, like, what type of consistency does CLG need?
Yeah, that's valid. Maybe they just might need to mix it. Maybe it could also be like a coaching thing. You never know.
Of course.
Because if you look at like 100 Thieves, now I'm conflicted on 100 Thieves.
Okay, go ahead.
So there's 2 theories floating around, and both kind of make sense. So there's one theory that is well known through just sports and history, throughout history, I should say.
Go ahead.
And that's whenever a team is doing bad, if you just remove or replace one source, whether it be a coach, player, staff member, or even like spice and mix it up, switch roles or something like that, it could bring back confidence that they needed or lost at some point to then become good again, like Dignitas. Like, they replaced one player.
Spawn for Tomo.
Yeah, and they've won 2 games now.
I mean, it's still not the best, but it's something.
But it's that like dopamine behind it.
For sure.
Like, then you have like 100 Thieves, they replaced
their head coach.
Which, depending on, because based right now off the first week of the new head coach, they won both games.
Yeah, I mean, that does show something.
Well, not 100% though. I would say based on Super Week will be the biggest showing.
Yeah.
Whether or not if it was if it was just the dopamine of having something new and fresh, or whether or not if it was an actual coaching issue.
So right now they're like 80% Thieves.
75.
75% thieves. So 75 thieves right
Yeah.
now. But like, if they show up well in the Super Week, then we can call them 100 thieves.
Yeah, and then we can go, okay, it was the coach's fault at that point.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. We saw Team Liquid. They won against FlyQuest, like props to them. And we also see 100 Thieves, they finally won their first game against Golden Guardians, which is not an easy feat. You know, Golden Guardians are pretty much up there, right? And that was great and all, but if you go into the second match, instead of being flexible, they kind of pick the same thing, you know? 100 Thieves, they just stick with the Zyra Khan. If we look into the second game of Team Liquid, they do Cho'Gath the Lee Sin again. And now we're thinking, was that their only like winning solution? Like, it makes you worried. Like, is that the only thing they have in the bag?
Well,
right?
the second team was against Dignitas, though. So
yeah, that's why I don't even count that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
if they pick the same type of comp this coming Wednesday, then I'll agree with you.
okay, yeah. No, that's why I'm also keeping up in the air.
Yeah.
Like you said, you know, we're not 100%. And I'm just adding that on to kind of prove your point that it's a little iffy. It's definitely a little iffy.
And I will say, I haven't been watching the LCS for the longest time, only a couple years now.
Okay.
But I will say, there was one game that is just one of my favorites so far in a while. Because last week, there wasn't like one game where I was just like, it was entertaining to watch from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
TSM versus Immortals, first day, was such a banger of just constant fighting.
Really?
It was very scrappy. Like, there wasn't like a whole lot of kills going around, but there was just so much fighting. And it was actually in favor of Immortals for the longest time.
It was looking like an LPO for a second.
Yeah, it just felt, it was entertaining to watch. There was constant back and forth. One pick here, one pick there. It was just like a constant, it was like a full-on battle throughout the whole game. It was just very entertaining to watch. And I've just been seeing, especially with Wild Turtle coming in, and I wonder if that's like just because of him.
Oh, now I'm remembering the game. Now that you mentioned Wild Turtle, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember now.
And I feel like Wild Turtle, he just kind of like was the solid ground that TSM needed.
No, I was actually very surprised too. I didn't think that much would change with the Wild Turtle coming back in, but he did make a change. Like, just how we saw Dignitas, he changed their ADC. Wild Turtle, TSM. TSM also changed their ADC, and they're starting to, you know, look better. And now it's time for 100 Thieves to... And I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go there. I'm just joking. For sure, we're seeing a lot of consistency and a lot of flexibility. That's one thing I like. You know, no more Zeri constantly. You know, we're seeing Wild Turtle pick Caitlyn, Ezreal, Xayah, and everything, you know?
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah, and also, the casters were talking about something interesting with Golden Guardians. And that's, if they win one more game, it'll be their best record that they've ever had.
Oof.
The highest they've ever made it was 9-9.
Really?
Yeah. They're at 9-6. They just have to win one game next week.
Oh, do you think they can do it?
Yeah. The highest they've ever made it was 5th place.
This is going to be crazy.
So they're technically already above where they once were.
Yeah, I mean, Golden Guardians have sort of always been at the bottom.
I would say bottom to mid.
Bottom to mid, yeah.
Like I said, like they like a couple times they placed 5th.
Yeah, but it's just, how can I say? It was always the same 3 teams that are at the top, you know what I mean? Like TSM, Cloud9, and Team Liquid.
Yeah.
I feel like it was always those 3 big boys.
And it wasn't until the last couple years where you got EG and 100 Thieves.
Just like showing up.
And then FlyQuest did go to Worlds once. Like, I think the year I started watching. And then last year they kind of were like the here and there.
Yeah, I think one thing that's really cool that I've noticed is before in the past, it was bigger org, bigger wins.
Yeah.
You know, like you can definitely recognize that now, right? But now I like how every team is looking individually at their League of Legends team and actually just trying to improve it, you know, with the resources they have. And they realize, you know, the only resource they have isn't just money. You know, it's some of the players that they already have in Academy that have proven that they've been lucky to have. Like, for example, EG hit the jackpot, obviously. You know, they got JoJo, they got Danny, and they flew last year. And now we're even seeing some other teams recognize that. And, like, for example, FlyQuest, they got Ayla, who was in Team Liquid Challengers. Wild Turtle's back. You know, they're like, okay, like, he's pretty good. And we're seeing a lot more of that I really appreciate. And I obviously can't forget 100 Thieves, for sure.
Yeah. it's been interesting. And I feel like it's been a little bit more scrappy. Like, if you look at the standings, the only two teams that basically be guaranteed a spot in the playoffs, from my point of view, is Cloud9 and FlyQuest, because they're 12-3. Like, there's no way that they can be kicked out.
Is it actually impossible?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. You're right.
Because there's only 3 more games left.
Wow. And maybe EG too.
Maybe.
If they lose all 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I see it now.
That's why it's just like, they're pretty much guaranteed, but you never know.
Yeah, that's true. Especially with JoJo being sick.
The fact that there's like 6 teams right now fighting for 4 slots.
That is crazy. Like, this is the most competitive LCS season by far.
Yeah.
Like, anyone's got to admit that, you know? Before, we see all these hot shots like Bjergsen and Double Lift, they're like, oh, if they're in a team, they're always going to be at the top, which was true. But now even these veterans have to fight for a spot. And isn't that amazing?
So, based off the current standings for the top 8, because I'm not including the bottom 2 because they're out.
That's Immortals and Dignitas.
Yeah. So right now you have, I'll say EG will make it. So we'll just do 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Okay.
So we have Golden Guardians, TSM, CLG, 100 Thieves, and Team Liquid, which I think could potentially make it. It's a bit iffy.
Yeah, it's a bit iffy.
They are 1 game behind the 3 tied teams.
I did look at their games though, and their future matches, and I do believe that Team Liquid has the easiest run for next week.
Yeah.
Especially because they've already won through FlyQuest, right? You know, that's already a big bonus. And they dealt with C9 as well.
Yeah.
This week, you know.
I think CLG is gonna have the hardest one because they're gonna start off right off the bat with.
I agree.
Golden Guardians followed behind Team Liquid, which I feel is gonna be a 50-50.
Yeah, definitely, especially with how.
But then they end it with fighting Cloud9.
Yeah. And TSM has it kind of rough too. They go against 100 Thieves, which is 50-50.
Yeah,
and Dignitas, hopefully a free win.
No, the Dignitas is Team Liquid.
Oh, I was talking about TSM.
Yeah. It's 100 Thieves and TSM. It's going to be iffy. Then they get a free win.
Maybe.
Thursday.
Dignitas have nothing to lose.
And
that's
then
why.
FlyQuest. So.
The FlyQuest part is.
It's going to be iffy.
Yeah.
100 Thieves, it's going to be roughly the same. Because they have to go against TSM, EG, and then Immortals. So they have 1 guaranteed win.
So if you think about it, even though 100 Thieves and Team Liquid are at the bottom, they might honestly have a better chance than TSM and CLG to make it to the top.
So my prediction is Golden Guardians will make it through. They'll probably be 4th.
Hopefully.
It'd be cool if they made it.
Yeah,
to 4th,
I really think it'd be great.
It would be the first time ever that not only have they beaten their record of having more than 9 wins, but they'll also be their first time that they've ever been in 4th place. Yeah. So they'll break 2 of their records in 1 move, which is cool. Personally, I would want TSM, probably 100 Thieves to go in.
Okay, so if I were to hope, then I would like 100 Thieves and Team Liquid to be 5 and 6. That would be my wish. I would be happy if that happened. But if I was to think logically and seeing all the matches, I'd have to agree with you. I think TSM and 100 Thieves have the best chance of making it to the top 6, especially knowing how Team Liquid is not very consistent, and 100 Thieves have beaten Team Liquid. I just have to say that. And also CLG, I'm not sure if they can really fix it up for the next week because they've obviously been playing really bad.
And then, of course, there is the scenario.
Is there the scenario? Does it exist where Immortals or Dignitas can make... Dignitas is a no, right?
No, they're both done.
Oh, they're both... Okay.
But there is the weird world where Golden Guardians might win more games than EG, making them 3rd place. The first time ever they're in the top 3, baby!
Was that necessary?
It was just a little side note I came across. I was just like, if they pull it off... The same.
Yep, but FlyQuest and Cloud9 are the untouchables. Honestly, those two they're just fighting to try to clinch up, the number 1.
Yeah.
The number 1 seed, because I believe number 1 seed has a I'm pretty sure they have better luck, right? Or something like that. They go against the bottom tier teams, right? So it'll be like 1 versus 3 or something like that. Or 1 versus 4. I don't even know. But definitely being first seed has a couple of bonuses, so it is worth the fight.
Yeah, and right off the bat, they have to duke it out Wednesday. Which we'll see who is truly.
If that game doesn't define the results of the standings, then I will rage, because that will be so sad.
And then after that,
there'll be Golden Guardians, and then there'll be TSM. We'll see.
Honestly, I would say Cloud9 has the best super week.
Yeah, they do.
They have one hard game and then 2 games where they
Immortals and CLG. Yeah.
They should win.
And this is why again I'm worried about CLG and TSM. On their last match of next week, they're going to be CLG's going against Cloud9, and TSM's going to be going against FlyQuest. We've seen TSM beat FlyQuest before, with the first ever Cho'Gath pick of the split. But
there might be a small potential where Golden Guardians also beats FlyQuest.
Yeah, we never know. But again, this is what I have to say: the nothing to lose mentality.
Yeah, and
that mentality is so strong, and I have to speak for that for Dignitas and Immortals as well. They got nothing to lose. So honestly,
well, to be fair, there's 3 teams tied, teams tied for 5th right now. They have nothing to lose either. It's risk it for the biscuit at this point. And I think anything can go. What was your favorite match, you would say?
My favorite match, let me see. I think it was Team Liquid versus FlyQuest, just because I'm a big Team Liquid fan. It was really nice to see Pyoshik sort of just pop off. And another game that I really liked, I have to say, was the 100 Thieves versus Golden Guardians.
That was a solid game.
The first game, I really liked that because, again, they put Closer on a strong carry. And, that's what we've been wanting. You know what I mean? We're Sejuani.
When he can carry, he can close.
And the second game against Dignitas, I know it was against Dignitas. It's like, sure, it's meh. But the reason why I liked it was they managed to give a bunch of kills to the Viego. Yeah. He picked Viego and it actually worked out. Also,
you just ignored my joke. I'm upset.
Oh, sorry. What did you say?
I said that they gave a carry to Closer so he could close the game. And you just ignored it.
I was still talking.
He just zoomed past it. Like I was at the bus stop and you were the bus driver. You looked at me and just kept on driving.
They gave the carry to Closer so he can close it. That was a good one.
Yeah, it was. Thank you. And I deserve praise for that. That was a solid joke.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. It's going to be a super week. It's going to be epic, and we're going to be going all over it, talking all about it. And that's going to be in our next podcast after this one.
Yeah, and it'll be the last week of the sleeper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Final Fantasy. I don't know if anyone else is doing it, but...
Yeah, sadly, I had a rough early start. I got dropped.
The first one was against me.
Yeah. But I had a rough early start, which got me too many little points. So I'm in the bottom bracket, but I am dominating the bottom bracket. Actually, I think the last week is you versus me, bud.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you and me as the final duo.
It shouldn't be. I'm probably going to go against one of these.
I know, but when you click over, boom, you and me, buddy.
I don't think that's accurate, but we'll see.
I hope it is. That would be normal.
No, you're my bracket demon.
I'm your bracket demon.
You're my bracket demon.
That's because I'm really good at. I know what's meta.
Okay, well,
what was it this past week? I had out of the 5 picks, I got 3 correct, and out of the bans, I got 2 correct.
Well,
that's 5 in total out of 10. That's
for
50%.
some reason Busio thought that they allowed Busio to pick Rakan 2 times in a row, so that was what allowed me to win this week. And just like the joke that I said about giving the carry to Closer so he can close it out. I think we should carry on with this podcast and close this out too.
No, okay, I got one last thing.
One last thing.
I want to end it off with a TikTok thing.
Oh, God. Okay, Gen Z.
So there was a TikTok of it was like 4 players are in a room. They all one trick, one champion.
Oh, God.
You have a Kassadin one trick, a Draven one trick.
Oh, God. No, wait, these are all racist. Keep going. Sorry. I'll let you get to the punchline. Sorry.
I just already forgot. You ruined it.
No, keep going. Remember it, damn it.
Who are the other two racist champions?
Aatrox?
Aatrox and Hecarim.
Oh god, okay.
You have, I think, I don't remember now. Anyways, you ruined it. The whole point was in that 4, who would be the first one to say the N-word?
No!
I immediately picked Draven.
Okay. Honestly, I picked Cassidy.
You'd pick Cassidy?
Yeah, but okay. That's gonna be it for Grass Doesn't Exist. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Well, goodbye.